Hi everyone, a very good evening to you. Here we are again with our real talk from woman to woman, uh, speaking about the virtuous woman. Today is episode 2. If you missed yesterday's program, you can go back to our YouTube channel and search the playlist The Virtuous Woman, and you will find the program there. Now, today we are going to be speaking or continue speaking about the virtuous woman. Uh, that is a little bit, I don't know if I can say controversial, but I believe some women have a hard time with this one, and we will explain to you later. Now, you can share this link, the link of YouTube or Facebook, to your family, friends. You can share it with someone who you know that will benefit from that. There are so many new ladies in the church. Why not share it with them? If you know any of them, you have been invited them to the church, send them this link because I'm sure it's going to be very profitable for them. Okay, so let's go and read here about the virtuous woman of today, the hair quality of today. Um, it says like this: the heart of her husband safely trusts her, so he will have no lack of gain. Look at this. The heart of her husband safely trusts her, so he will have no lack of gain. Before I elaborate that, I would like to read to you the commentary of Bishop Macedo from the Bible. Look what Bishop Macedo wrote here in the commentary. Sensible spending. A wise woman is responsible. That is why her husband is not worried about her conduct and actions. She does not easily give in to her own desires, but ponders about their real needs according to their budget. She knows how to manage their finances and avoid waste because she is focused, mature, and responsible. Her husband trusts her completely. Look at this. Connected with this, it comes being focused, being mature, and being responsible. Now, I know that many of you, you came to work abroad, you are working abroad, you are supporting your family. In fact, you are sending the finances, you are the one sponsoring or being the breadwinner of the family, and is a very heavy load on you. And many times you are sensible with your finances. Who is not sensible is your husband. So sometimes you work so hard in here, you are working from early in the morning until only God knows when. You are the first to wake up and the last to go to sleep. Some of you have only very few hours, or very little hours, I would say, sleeping because of the hard work here to support your family, your children. And your husband goes and he spends all or a lot of that hard earned money on addictions, on friends, sometimes mistress. So he is the one that is not sensible. How to do in a situation like that? Well, first of all, you need to seek the direction from God. We give you advice here, but every case is a different case. Sometimes we give you an advice Uh, but you need to consider that, even if you don't know how, in your case, if you should, what you should do, what you have to do, you should come to us, seek, look for us in the church, book an appointment to talk, because every case is a different case. But I'm gonna give you here an example, because here says that her husband, because she's sensible with money, her husband trusts her completely. Now, sometimes, like I was saying, the problem is your husband. So, how can you be sensible with money when your husband is the one doing all the spending? Well, when you know your husband is not sensible with money, responsible, is not mature with money, what you do, you limit the amount you send. You need to learn to budget. You need to learn to say, no, I'm not going to send more than this. And you have to save, so that when you go back for good, you don't go empty handed. The cases we hear in the church, surely you have heard many testimonies of ladies in the church that they worked years and years and years, and when they went back after 20 years, 30 years, they don't even have a house to live. They have to go and live in the in-laws or in a nipa house. So you, being the wise woman, the virtuous woman, the most sensible, you have to learn to say, I'm sorry, I will only send this amount. If you need any extra, you need to go and work, find part-time there. If he's working and his money, the money is not enough to supply for his needs, then tell him, look, find a part-time, because I work here from early in the morning until late in the evening. My time is 24 hours uh, on, available for my employee. Any moment my employer calls me, I have to be here ready. How about you? You don't have to have a 9 to 5 job only. If it's not enough for you, then go and find a part-time. So you have to work out this with your husband with respect. You should not disrespect your husband. It's not because you are the breadwinner that you are the boss of the house. Is you don't call all the shots, but when it comes to responsibility, then if your husband is not, then you need to take caution. You need to be careful. You need to protect yourself and your children. Okay. I was also thinking of women that come sometimes. That's where we see a lot of problems um, in the church. Oh, someone here is asking what Proverbs chapter that's there. Proverbs 31, verse 11. Okay. So sometimes the stories we hear um, is that, for example, they put the wife putting she saw that the condition there was not good financially speaking. They were living always fighting, arguing. They could not get along, um, and sometimes the reason is because of money. What they do, they apply to go abroad, and they go abroad and they only inform their husbands when they are at the airport or when they are already in the destination country. So that is also, how can a husband, you have to think, how can a husband trust a wife that does not consult about major issues? Can you understand? So This is very, very, very important. When I was reflecting just before we started the program about this, her husband safely trusts her, it came to my mind the parable of the servants that the Lord gave one talent, 5 talents, 2 talents, and 5 talents, right? So the Lord trusted in them, in their hands, knowing their um, ability and their how can I say, knowing their talent, their ability to multiply their talent. The Lord gave the exact talents that they needed, right? So um, God has given you a talent, being a wife, a virtuous wife is a talent, is how can I say, is a godly characteristic, is um, something that God is pleased with. You know what I mean? So you being a virtuous wife is a talent God has given you. And if you are not this woman that your husband can trust you with the decisions, that you walk all over him, that you don't respect him, then you tell me, how will you have a marriage that has, a good relationship? You cannot expect that. So major issues, you have to consult your husband. This is a talent. You being a wife is a talent, a God-given talent. And what are you going to do with that? Are you going to multiply it for the Lord? Are you going to live as you wish? Or you're going to do things, you know what? After all, my husband is not a good husband. I don't care as well. I'm going to do my own thing. It's not like that. So you have to be a responsible wife, a trustworthy wife. You have to be a wife that respects the husband in order to receive that trust. How many husbands, the wives are working abroad for so many years, and the wife is supporting her siblings, the father, the mother, the brother, the sister, the nephew, but the husband is there without the wife, sacrificing. And then the worst is when you go back home, there is nothing. What is this? You are not being mature, you are not being responsible, you're not focused on what really matters. You know what I mean? Also, other cases that we see very common in here is you come abroad, you work abroad to build your future, to build a house, to send your children to school for them to graduate, and then when you are here with friends, you are easily influenced, and you start to lend money. You sign as a warrantor to a friend that you don't even know. You've never met them. Sometimes you just met them. And the person managed to convince you for you to go to the bank and get money because later on they are going to pay you. And then they run away with the money, and there you are with a big debt left to pay. You cannot send your children to the school. How many cases we have heard of this? You don't build a house. You are years and years and years here just paying off debts that is not even for your direct family. Direct family means you, your husband, and your children. Do you understand? So we women that are mature, like Bishop Macedo says, women that are focused, mature, and responsible, we have to look into all of this. You need focus when someone comes with blackmail, doing you emotional blackmail. Your family comes and do emotional blackmail, and you don't want to hear, or you don't want them to gossip about you because you are so worried about your reputation, what they say or what they don't say about you, that you are concerned about your reputation before many people, but you are not concerned about your reputation before your children, before your husband. How about your reputation towards God? Does it count? So you, as a woman of God, a virtuous woman, you have to learn to say no. You have to learn to say no. You know, I'm going to tell you an experience that I had. I was in a country, and because of the situation of the country, we didn't have, like, we could not have, we were starting the work from nothing. So the meetings, the meetings of the church, they were made, sorry, let me put this to charge. They were made in the house, okay? And one of the members, okay, Filipina as well, came to me and said like this on a Sunday morning, okay, after the service, can you lend me money? First of all, I couldn't believe what I was listening. It was the first time someone ever asked me for money. I mean, a stranger asking me for money. And then I looked at her. At first, I was in shock. And then I looked at her and I said, with a smile in my face, no, sorry, I don't have money to lend you. I said no. I said no. Now, there were other people around, they saw it. I could say like this, oh, I could think like this, ah, she's going to think of the pastor's wife, of the bishop's wife, is so stingy. I didn't care what the person was going to think of me, because the help I can give and assist is a spiritual help. And you have to understand, for your friends, for your family, that's the kind of help you should be giving, is a spiritual help. That's all. Prayer, they need help, pray for them, bring them to Jesus, introduce them to Jesus, because that's the only way that they are going to learn to use their faith and not to depend on you. You are not God. I am not God, so I cannot make people dependent on me. Okay? So I'm going to finish the program. There are so many examples I could give you, but now I want you to do a small homework. And it's not a difficult one. You are going to make a prayer. Gonna ask, my God, what have I done, or what have I been doing that this stops my husband from safely trusting me? Safely means, blindfold, like I can trust with my wife with anything. I know she's not going to do anything crazy. Have I been doing something that causes mistrust between me and my husband? Again, we are not talking about your husband, okay? If you have a husband that is not responsible with money, already, it was the first advice that you receive here. And you can also arrange an appointment to speak to me for further advice, okay? But I want you to look within yourself. and see if you are lacking this quality of focus, like Bishop Macedo spoke here in his commentary. Focus, maybe you are lacking maturity, even responsibility. You need to check, okay? And then to finish the verse, so he, the husband, will have no lack of gain. Again, when it says here, so he will have no lack of gain, this does not mean that you have to support him. You are like a cash machine for him. No, not at all. You already heard the beginning of the program. But he knows he works, you work, maybe you earn more than him, but no problem, because it's one wallet, one bank account. So what is his is yours, and what is yours is his. So he will know, my wife, I can trust her because I will lack nothing. I don't need to worry about tomorrow, in a sense, because my wife is going to spend it all, is going to be responsible. No, he knows, my wife is working abroad, and she's trustworthy. She's taking care of the finances. She's not lending to anyone. She's also not spending, going here and there with friends and paying for her friends. She's not going out for the pub to drink, dance, have fun with her friends. No, my wife is a responsible woman. So that's what I would like to share with you today. Let's keep focus. Sometimes people make big mistakes in their life because they lack focus. They get distracted with so many things. Your focus is one: your children, sending your children to the school. Your focus, if you don't have children, is to build your house. If you are single, your focus, number one, is for you to prepare yourself for the future, so that when you get married, you don't have to go and work abroad again. So you stay together with your husband. You prepared ahead of time. We will speak more about that in the following programs. Okay? Now, reminding you that soon at 10 p.m. we have our prayer of agreement here at the altar of justice. Okay, so join us then at 10 p.m. where the pastors will be joining you in agreement, in prayer, seeking the justice of God. Okay, may God bless you, and we'll see you again tomorrow at the same time. Bye-bye now. Has this program been of help for you? Feel free to share with someone who also will benefit from watching it. You feel free to press the share button, and if you want, you can like it and leave your comments below. God bless.